Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the record show that all members are present. And if everyone's had an opportunity to look at the minutes from the July meeting, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Is there any old business to come before the board? John, do you have anything?
No old business.
Okay. All the old business is done.
All the old business is done.
Cool. Okay, new business for this evening. Missy Krulik is here to present to us this evening.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. If you step up and state your name and try and do as good as Abby did at her presentation last time she was at that podium. She was outstanding, by the way. A lot of pressure.
All right, so I just want to say hi. Winnie, can you say hi? Yeah. My name is Missy Krulik, and this is my daughter. Her name is...
Good job.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to address you and introduce you to Winnie. Winnie is an amazing little girl who happens to have several diagnoses. The one that I feel like affects her life the most is dyspraxia. It's also referred to as motor learning disability, developmental coordination disorder, and motor apraxia. What it is it's a neurological disorder that affects an individual's ability to plan and process motor tasks. So for Winnie, her dyspraxia is considered severe. So Winnie has trouble coordinating her left side with her right side and her lower body with her upper body. And it's also considered nonverbal. She knows what she wants. She knows what she wants to do, but somehow the signals between her brain and her muscles get lost and confused. So she has to work extra hard to perform the movements that we do every day without any thought at all. So when we take Winnie to play at the parks, we encounter many obstacles. It's hard for Winnie to be successful in a playground. Winnie loves to swing, and there's not really a lot of good options for her at our parks. She's too big for the toddler bucket swings. We've tried, got her stuck a few times. We tried the regular swings, but they're just too dangerous for her. She has a weak core. She has not good motor planning. And then she also communicates sometimes through sign language. So we had one time I had her on the regular swing. I was pushing her, not very high, but I was pushing her. She saw a dog from across the park, signed dog, and flipped out of the swing because she let go to sign. So, so it's really important for her to be able to communicate with me, while we're enjoying these activities. And then the tire swing. I have a picture of her on the tire swing. This is about the only, I don't know if you can put that up there, but
Yeah, so get it up.
you see it.
Our most popular playground piece of
Yeah.
equipment. It is. It is.
This is the only way that she can navigate this swing, and it's still not safe for her. She can't sit on the swing because of the reasons why she can't sit on a regular swing. She can't lay on her back because it's like slime going through a hole. Like she just oozes right through that hole in the middle of the tire. She has no strength to hold herself up. So we tried this one the last time because Winnie loves to swing. We wanted to give her a chance, and that was our attempt. And because her legs are so long, when you swing her up and comes back down, she hits her legs on the ground. So not very safe for her. Do you want to go back over and sit down? Okay. Go to Abby. Okay. And so here is a swing that we've that she likes to swing in. It's a seat swing. She doesn't have to be buckled into it. It just kind of tilts back a little bit, and she sits in it and swings, and it's safe for her. And she can communicate at the same time.
Where is that swing at?
This is at Holiday Park. I know they have some like it at Stokes Elementary here in town. And this is another swing. They just put it central, which is kind of nice too.
Oh,
And she can sit in the middle of it, and a friend can join her too.
Is that kind of like a saucer or
It's
like
kind of like a saucer.
Strapped in also?
No straps.
No straps.
So, and then also, Winnie likes to go down the slide, but she struggles with, when Winnie gets down, she has to sit down, so she kind of plops herself down, then she has to figure out what to do with her legs. So we need a lot of room for her to be able to navigate her legs, because she doesn't pull them up like we do. It just takes a lot of thought process to how to get her legs where they need to go. So if we have a slide that is at a different elevation than the platform, she really struggles with that transition. She can't figure out, once she's sitting on that platform, how to get her legs up into the slide, and then also how to push her body up into the slide. So just a smooth transition from platform to slide is what usually works best for her. No type of elevation. Winnie is a big girl, so she gets caught in the tube slides. If her legs or her head get caught, she doesn't have the motor planning to be able to move quickly to help herself not get hurt. So the red slide at Memorial Park, one day she was going down it, and we heard her crying and screaming. Winnie does not usually do that, and she was in the slide with her head tilted back. Her face was up against the top of the slide, and her bottom had wedged her in there. So she didn't have the wherewithal, the motor planning, to be able to arch her back to bring herself down to be able to go down the slide. She was just stuck in that position. So tube slides don't work for her, and not for me anymore once I found her in that position. How
does she do on the regular slides? Just
regular slides are fine. If they're a little wider, it kind of helps her, because then she can navigate her feet and her legs into the slide. Generally, the wider slides are for toddlers, the smaller playground. So once Winnie gets her feet down, she's already down the slide by the time she gets her legs down that slide. So she gets a little bit of a slide, but not much. And then, generally when we go to the playground, we have to have two people, one at the top helping her navigate getting into the slide, and then one person at the bottom making sure she usually lands pretty good, but sometimes she can take a fall off the slide.
Oh, yeah.
But most kids can. So my reason for introducing you to Winnie tonight was not for you to build her and other children with physical disabilities a playground, but for you to consider children with physical limitations when you're choosing playground equipment. For example, wider slides, lowered monkey bars, so kids who can't hang like Winnie, doesn't have that motor controller strength, they can do that. Also, kids in wheelchairs can do that. And then your little ones can do that as well, your toddlers and shorter kids. Ground equipment like spinning cups. These are great, just additions to a playground. Got another one, sorry. They've installed 2 of these at Central. And they're just little cups that you sit in and they just spin on their own. So she's in there, she's safe, she's low to the ground, and her center of gravity is in one spot, so she's safe in that. Easy transitions from the platform to the slide, I talked about that. Anything, small stepping stones, things where she can target her feet from one to the next. is great practice for her, but still low enough to the ground that if she falls, she's safe. Sound play components for sensory needs, like the drums and the chimes and different things like that. And I know we have some of that in our playground equipment, which is nice, and she always gravitates right towards that. And then roller slides. I don't know if you've seen those, but they're just they're tubes, and they're a slide. So you slide down this roller slide. They have one at a park in Carmel. I can't remember, Central Park in Carmel. They have one of those. And typical kids love those kind of things too. And a merry-go-round with full backs. So we can't put her on a merry-go-round. She just doesn't have the strength to be able to stay on it and not be forced off. So those aren't safe for her. She loves spinning, so that's why I love the spinning cups. And it's a sensory thing. It's great for her. So merry-go-rounds with full backs where that she's supported. So all these pieces also create connections among children of all abilities. When I go to parks outside of Lebanon and like the swing that I showed you, I see typical kids on that swing. They love it. And I love that they're on that swing because that means there's no difference between my daughter and that typical kid. And that typical kid who's enjoying that swing doesn't look at my daughter any differently. They just look at her as a kid who loves that piece of equipment. So I love that. So I just thank you for listening to me tonight, a parent who has a child with special needs and a child who loves to go to the park and interact with other kids. And I just want her to have safe equipment to be able to play on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to have your insight,
Yeah.
because I'm sure it's not just Winnie, there's other children that would benefit from this, so it's good to have that insight. Thank you.
And we've been talking about, because we just have the one set down at Southside or.
Yeah, our equipment, the newest piece we have is about 7 to 8 years old.
Yeah.
That's the green slide at Memorial Park. The rest of it, I'm embarrassed to say, is 40 years old
Yeah.
or older.
So
Yeah.
we have been looking,
And
so
that's-
it's good to
yeah.
have this input, because we are
And I
looking.
think it's easy to incorporate these pieces into your playground already.
Correct. Yeah.
Because I know that it's expensive to
Yeah, like that
design.
merry-go-round. I've seen a lot, I think, with that last presentation we had last month.
Yeah.
That was something, but no, this is great timing, I think.
It is.
Because
It's
we
perfect timing.
We are looking at playground equipment and handicap accessible equipment. Special needs is so broad, so many different ways. I mean, we even looked at just all kinds of different equipment, but that's good. And I told Missy that we will be looking into it. Some of these things are quick fixes that I can add right now. So that's a great thing, and we have money budgeted for that, which is good, but some of the bigger equipment obviously will take
Yeah.
time. Accessibility is a big one, but I'm in agreement. Thank you very much. It's good to
Yeah.
hear that perspective and to hear some things that we need to address.
The pictures are helpful, too.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Spinning cup, I like the spinning cup
I do
myself.
too.
Yeah.
And the kids love them, of all ages.
And Winnie, don't think anything, because I go right through that tube too myself. I slip right through, yeah. Yes, I've been on it. Yeah, even my big rear end has slid right through, believe it or not. There we go. That's good.
Would it
You
be
have
possible?
pictures?
I know,
Yeah,
right?
did you bring pictures of that?
Yeah, no.
Would it be possible, once we get to a point, maybe asking Missy
Yeah.
to help with the purchase and, have her look at the different things that, she knows that would help Winnie, and also
Correct.
probably some of the things that she would know that would help other kids. I mean, I have no clue. I
Yeah.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
To me, a swing's
No,
a swing,
absolutely.
and that's my stupidity, but I would much rather have somebody that deals with it on a daily basis to help kind of guide us
Yeah.
or guide you as far as purchase.
Exactly.
make-
Just like what we purchased, I was telling Ms. Krulik earlier that we purchased something 8-9 years ago,
Yeah.
and it didn't last. It was yeah, but like she said, all-inclusive for everybody, and, you know, that's what you want, and something that can't, that's indestructible, which is impossible anyway.
No, that's not
But, no.
What we were talking about, I mean, I understand what Missy's saying as far as, you know, her kid and another kid being, you know, John and I were talking before the meeting about, you know, it seemed like the ones that we had were being destroyed, you know, and they were being destroyed because of the other kids that were getting on it, 4 or 5 of them at a time, and doing things to it that shouldn't be done. I mentioned to John, what about segregating, you know, having an area for just the special area, you know, the special needs kids? What, would that be something, I mean, do you think that that's something that would be acceptable, or do you, I mean, I know what you
Yes,
said.
I like the idea for some kids it needing it to be separate. For
Yeah,
my
autistic,
situation,
on
I love
autistic,
for
yeah.
Winnie to interact with typical kids
Yes.
and to create those friendships
So
as
maybe
well,
have both,
too.
maybe have, you know, an area where, you know, it's kind of a more of a,
On our next layout, we need to really address that, because you have autistic kids that have different
autistic, yeah,
needs.
that's what I was
Where
trying to
they
think of.
want to take out of the gates, and you have to have it fenced in. You know,
Yes.
there's certain different
Yeah.
needs for all.
And see, I don't have that problem with Winnie with her motor apraxia, dyspraxia. She can't run. So
Yeah.
she's got a very small, slow walk, so I can usually catch up with her.
That could be a good
and bring
thing.
her back, so.
Yeah.
But so many of these can be used by everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Yeah.
integrate, so
Yeah.
she can
I
socialize
like the
there
slide where you
too.
can just get on right there, and I like that, and I haven't seen it, and I really haven't put a lot of time into it, but that's our next step. We had a presentation last month on playground equipment, addressing some of our needs, handicapped and such. So obviously, your timing couldn't be any better, and we appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
I do.
We
The
do.
input,
Thank
and I
you.
will be
Thank you.
reaching out. Absolutely.
We might be able to check, I don't know if you could check too, some with handicap things, there might be some grants.
Yeah,
About that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, there-
because
there's-
that would be really
there are quite a few
helpful.
grants out there, but also the playground equipment, especially now, is 50% off basically with our
Is
government
that-
discount. So, yeah, in fact, Diane, you've done a lot of purchasing for the school, Stokes and such, so we've
I
had
remember
those
that well.
discussions, yeah,
And
yeah.
we did incorporate a separate area because we had, kind of like you were alluding to, there are some kids who need for their safety to be kind of separated out.
Correct.
Or because they're really young and have disabilities. So we created a whole separate area at Hattie Stokes for the special needs program. But we also, in the big kid area, incorporated like some of this special swings and things like that. And it was great seeing kids interact like that. Even there's areas where wheelchairs can actually be amongst the kids that, you know, they may not be able to do some of the things, but they're with them.
Right,
You
right.
know, so there are some parks that have dedicated special areas for
Absolutely.
kids with disabilities.
There's-
Doesn't mean anybody's excluded from it, it's just they have them in
For
mind.
safety.
Kevin Krulik and I were down in Franklin last year about this time, I believe, and looked at, Franklin has a real nice park down there that is designated with the nice padding where you can get on. I think they got that from some of their damage that they had down there with that money, but there was also, but yeah, it's something we address, and you'll probably be on that
It does
committee
pay off
also.
to visit
Playground.
places and to talk to people who
Sure
are
does.
using it.
Right.
'Cause
And I
they
got
can
it,
say
yeah.
what they wouldn't do again.
Yeah,
And what they definitely thought, you know, was working well. Durability is important.
durabilities,
You know,
yeah.
and the surface area too,
Correct.
for falls.
Just
and
like
things that.
you asked the person last meeting, you quizzed her. You got her too, I think. That was pretty good. So, no, that's something that we need to address and.
So I'd like to move forward and try to
and
figure
go
out
forward,
what we
yeah.
can do.
And I
to-
think a couple of these items I can pick up and get in hopefully yet this year. Not just for you, but yeah, for you also. I think it's something that I was thinking bigger picture and whole, areas, and I don't think we have to do that. We started smaller before, and I think things are made differently now. Those were not really they were durable, but they didn't last
They
very
were
long.
all steel, weren't they?
Yeah, they were steel and scary. so.
I think sometimes we also need to remember that it isn't always just small children that have disabilities.
Correct.
I think you made that point really well.
Yeah.
Because Woody will be able to enjoy that kind of equipment for many, many years.
Right.
Just 'cause
My Kenny's 230 pounds, and yeah, so I got that, yeah, I agree. Well,
Thank you for sharing,
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Abby.
Okay. Okay, director's report.
oh no, here we go. Okay, I have a few announcements to make. Billy Smith has been promoted to Park Superintendent. You know, Billy's been with us quite some time, a couple of years, I believe. His skill set, knowledge, and work ethic is, to this position, critical. Very excited to have him work. He's been in the position a couple weeks now. Already making a big impact. He's doing a great job. We've been without a superintendent for about 2 months, and it's nice to have that superintendent and somebody down there. Billy's very helpful, had a lot of nice comments on this last event we had Saturday too. Along with Caleb Skank, he has been promoted to shop foreman / assistant superintendent. Caleb also brings mechanical knowledge along with his attention to detail. There again, Caleb started out, right before I became Parks Director as a high school maintenance guy. He was on with the Battalysis, so he did other things and applied when he was older, and I sure am glad to have him on board and to take this role on. Cole Henry's been with us. He was he started out as a lifeguard. I think he's been with us a total of 6, 7 years, maybe 6 years. Full-time 3 going on 4 years. There again, he's taken on the role anyway, but he's kind of got a title to his name now, which is Aquatics Director, and he takes care of all the maintenance issues that we have along the Seashore Water Park and also the splash pad. And there again, he stepped up to the plate. All these guys did while we really didn't have a lot of direction other than me around there, and I just think it's great that they've stepped up and now they have some little title or a nice title to their name with more responsibilities, which they are accepting. Let me just go through some recent program recap. Our July swim lessons wrapped up on July 24th. Had a great turnout with about 30 kids in morning and afternoon or evening lessons. Our poolside Pilates session wrapped up on July 25th, and we plan to host again next year in June and July. Again, we had quite a few out there. I believe one man might have shown up once, and that was about it. So we had quite a few women. I'll do it next year, I promise. Soccer shots at Abner Longley Park. That's something that they made a little presentation to the Parks Board about a year ago. I want to tell you, I saw a nice group out there. Allison, our programs director, has her little boy, Griff, in it and loves it, and really excited about it. Now we're looking at a similar program for T-ball for the underage, that the Little League, we aren't going to compete with Little League or any of these other groups. It's an outside group that comes in, they do all the training and coaching, and it's really going to work out very well. Lap swim is postponed, unfortunately, until September 9th, as high school pool is under maintenance. We'll do those on Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays at 5:30 a.m. Merchants baseball wrapped up their season. They didn't win the championship. They kind of got taken out a little earlier than what they anticipated. They were ranked second. There again, I want to thank Ron Ebert for being able to work with them. He did a great job of coaching that for many years, and just a really nice man to work with, and did very good with all the kids out there. Gonna miss him, and I'm sure he'll be around in some role. The guy can't sit still. Back to the School Bash was a huge success. Already booked again for next year. Our pool hosted over 600 people. There again, I hope you guys got to go out for it. It was just outstanding to see the parks utilized the way it was. Haircuts, hearing, eye test. There again, food, backpacks. You had public safety out there. It was just great, good fun for everybody. I hope you got to see it. It was really just a great event for the community, and I got to thank all that were involved, all the volunteers, and there were tons of them. I think they took out the park themselves. Nice, safe. I haven't heard any ill words about it at all. That was another nice choice you guys made of letting them come in, and I'm glad to hear them come back again next year.
Do you have a date for next year?
I don't, not on this. There again, I was kind of took a couple days off and I missed it. So, but there again, what a great day for the parks. Youth Football Jamboree was also held on the same day last Saturday and went very well. I do want to say thank you to the Lebanon Youth Football League. They purchased a new scoreboard down there, and it's gorgeous. They'll also be hosting the black and gold game for the Lebanon Tigers this Friday night. So if you can get out there. I think canned goods, probably drinks, anything you can bring out there for them is your ticket in. Our last week this is the last full week for the Seashore Water Park. There again, can't thank all the guards for all the hard work. We will keep open on weekends all the way up till September 2nd. That's Labor Day. We will close at 6 o'clock that night. It's normally 7 on Mondays, but since it's a holiday, we'll close at 6. Kids have school the next day, and we'll close it up. But Labor Day will be it. We'll keep the splash pad open, which is a very popular item. Just going great down there. There again, got to thank everybody, hard work for that. Upcoming programs, the Battle of the Barbecue is this Saturday in Memorial Park. And hopeful for a large turnout. Looks like the weather is going to be perfect. Normally we're worried about rain and everything else. Again, outstanding by Joy Kaler and Kathy Flannery on all their hard work and all the many volunteers and the great chefs out there. Our mother-son superhero party is next Saturday, August 17th, a week from this Saturday. Tickets are still on sale in the office. There again, worked throughout the parks, cleaned up and mulched and treated Gene Haas building. Spent probably 2 weeks out there getting it all cleaned up. Got the irrigation system working. Everything looks good out there. Still working on the pond to try and get some of the nastiness out of it. Working on it. This hot weather doesn't help us at all. There's a film crew in Memorial Park last week filming Anytime Fitness. I hope you got I don't know if you went by, but there were film crews in. That's going to be on an episode of something in the future here, so it'll be interesting. But there again, it was on Kathy Scott. Did a little piece on her, and it was really nice to see all these people, and they really did appreciate the way that our parks looked, and many compliments from people from Canada all the way to Texas. So just wanted to pass that on too. Guys just do an outstanding job. The shelter at Abner Longley Park and the baseball press box both got painted. That's with a rhino shield. Keith Campbell was instrumental in helping me out with that. Driving it, I should say, because he said, man, this is going to last 25 years, and there's a 25-year guarantee on it. The price was right, and so we pulled that off on both of them. Hope you like the colors, black and gold. I reached out to quite a few of you, and you wanted black and gold, so we got it on there. I'm colorblind, so I couldn't pick any colors. There's now, there again, new scoreboard. We're doing very well. Only have a few more weeks left at the pool. The guys are working on Ruth Berkshire Arboretum right now, cleaning it up. It's finally dry out there, so we can clean it up. We'll be putting the disc golf back into Abner Longley Park here soon. There again, we always have work at the Conservation Club, and we didn't get down the trail yet, but we plan on going down the trail and cleaning it out probably 10 feet on each side and taking some trees out. We did have Kurt Freshour help us out with a tree that was down at the Conservation Club over a house. He helped us take 2 trees out that were hollow. Really appreciate his help in that. And I think we took a total of 6 or 8 trees down already this year. in the last month. So that's where we are. All the kids are going back to school. It's sad, but Diane's already back, are you?
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, I had a
But,
week off.
yeah, no, as far as that goes, they've done an outstanding job. Had many, many compliments on our pool. I think it looks great. Our numbers are way up from last year, so that's basically all I had.
Okay. Okay, any questions from the board for John or anything else we've been discussing?
You were concerned at one time about just splash pads, some vandalism and things of that nature.
Yes,
Is
we
that
haven't
improved?
put the springs on the gates. We've just been shutting them, and it's working out fine. We will, as soon as the fence company gets in, put the springs on and another gate opening, but no, vandalism's been very good. I was talking to John before the park board meeting. I did want to, I guess there is one more thing. Brian Benton's been working very extremely hard on this Christmas lights. Jessica and John met with them in their committee meeting. Got my first volunteer packet today that I'm background checking, and it's nice. Anybody that wants to volunteer, get a hold of Brian Benton. I'm looking forward to that, and he's going to all these farmers markets and putting himself out there, and it's really nice to have somebody that's really helping our park system out and trying to get the lights going. And thanks to John and Jessica for stepping up too. But I think you guys gave them some direction, other input, and I think that's very helpful too. But it's nice to actually do some background checks on some volunteers that we got coming up. So anybody who wants to volunteer, we want your help. Brian could use it. There again, I just want to thank him. He's really, I meet with him every so often, a couple times a month, I think, and they've met, and it's really nice to have somebody that interested in, and he's not giving up. And I commend him on that. It's hard when volunteers are hard to come by, and want to thank him for all that. Allison's planning a lot of programs too, looking at pumpkins and things for the upcoming months ahead, October and all. So, and of course, we'll have our Christmas lights, and there again.
I don't even want to talk about Christmas.
Oh, yeah, you'll be plowing snow. We're good. We're good. But yeah, we did have a couple of hires in the last month too. We were down 4 employees going into the 4th, which is never fun. Guys stepped up though. Really did a nice job. And again, I can't say enough about the guys taking over and with the new titles and the new responsibilities. They're doing an outstanding job, and everybody's working really good together, and it's really nice. We have a big skill set and a lot of talented guys, and they care about what they do. I think downtown looks great. It takes 7 days of watering all the time, but everybody's stepping up, and it's really nice to have a lot of hardworking people. I just sit back and watch, and it's good.
Sure you do, yeah.
There you go. It's good. It's good.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to look over the claims? If so, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims.
I'll make a motion that we approve the claims.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Now, if there's nothing else to come before the board, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.
I don't know.